All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. Right here, we have an amazing afternoon interview, coming your way. We actually have a phenomenal United Kingdom band. We got Be Fair, and we got Phil of Dave of the band right here live on the radio station Airwaves. Guys, how are you doing this afternoon, or in your case, should I say tonight?
We're doing really good. Really good. Thanks very much for having us. Yeah. Just kicking back. I've got a beer on the go.
Same. It wouldn't be Be Fair without the beer.
That's it, man.
But I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much. And I have to say as well, I absolutely been loving your guys' music. I love punk rock, but the one thing I love the most is punk rock from the UK. You guys have such a unique sound, not just Be Fair, but honestly, in United Kingdom punk rock in general, man. You guys always have that phenomenal punk rock sound, in my honest opinion.
Oh, nice. Thanks so much. It's strange to hear. I mean, so many of the bands that we love and kind of listen to are from Canada and the States, and so we kind of just do our thing and put our spin on it. But yeah, it's really kind of you to say. Thanks so much, man.
But I know you guys are very busy individuals, so of course I'm going to dive right into this interview, but I got to take you back to the beginning of this amazing band, and I have to ask, how did you guys actually originally meet, and of course first come together as one, just to form Be Fair?
I could say that, Dave, and Dave joined the story a little bit later on. We joined late 2019, so impeccable timing, just before the whole world went to hell with COVID and whatnot. But yeah, we met Dickie and Carl, also the other two members of Be Fair that can't join us tonight. They're lifelong mates. They knew each other from school, and they were forming a band. Carl had been traveling. He wanted to come back and kick something off. And I met them through kind of like Lonely Hearts for Bands, these things where they advertise. And I got speaking to Dickie on there, and straight away we just hit it off and had shared interest. And originally we were just using it as an excuse to get together, four mates, just kicking back, playing the kind of music that we love, writing some songs, enjoying a few beers. And honestly, I think for the four of us, and it started that way and it's still that way, is that we just love hanging out together and playing music, and that's all it is and all it ever will be. We had a different drummer to start with, and then a year now, is it, Dave? Our other drummer left, and Dave joined us. You knew Carl from back in the day. You worked with him, right?
Yeah, it was really lucky because I think I wasn't using Instagram at the time. I deleted the app, and Carl had been sending me messages, I think, trying to poke me because they were looking for a new drummer, and I used to work with Carl, and luckily I hadn't changed my phone number, and he still had my phone number, so I got an old school text message saying, "Dave, you still play drums?" And it was perfect timing for me because I was sort of getting back into playing the drums and looking for a band. So yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it's pretty cool that you actually didn't change your phone number. Honestly, if I was in your shoes, Dave, he would have not been able to get into contact with me, man. So it's always a blessing when you do tend to keep the same phone number for a while, man, because that led to an amazing opportunity to be a part of Be Fair.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well for us as well. Like Dave, since you joined, he's helped take us to the next level in terms of music, and his drumming's phenomenal, and he's a lovely guy to have in the band. It's just it now it feels like the four of us together, we have the best time. We love hanging out with each other. We love playing the music and getting out and meeting other new people such as yourself. It's cool to have opportunities like this.
And also, August 5th of 2021, you guys actually released a 5-track album titled But Can We Do It on a Wet Tuesday in Stoke. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this EP, and of course, is it actually still out there to be purchased or streamed today?
Yeah, man, you've done your research. That was a demo that we did really early days, and we recorded that and edited it all ourselves. That was pre-Dave. It is out. It's on Bandcamp. People can go on and have a listen to it. it's one of those ones, and I think like anybody who's been in a band or who's made music, you kind of listen back to your early stuff and cringe a bit. It's definitely not our most polished work, but I actually listened to it the other day, and it's like, actually, some of this stuff still sounds all right. I'd quite like to give it another go around with a proper producer. But yeah, so we just wanted to chuck that out, and really the only reason we did that was just to get a name out there. We've found it difficult to get gigs or get people to listen to us, take us seriously, unless we had something. So yeah, we chucked those 5 tracks up there, and people seem to love it. People still listen to it now, which is kind of cool.
And the one thing I really enjoyed about that project was actually the Tony Hawk song that you guys actually put together, man. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. That was the one with all the woes in it.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, we always kind of joked that, it sounded like something that could be on a Tony Hawk's soundtrack, which, when we were kids, that was like the pinnacle. Like, if there's so many rad bands on that soundtrack, so we just yeah. In fact, that was the one I was listening back to, going, yeah, we could resurrect that.
Have you ever actually tried, sending that to Tony Hawk? Because I do know that he actually sometimes does repost independent bands, man. I actually interviewed a band, I would say last month. They're from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. They kind of did the same thing as you guys, made like a Tony Hawk themed song, sent it to him, and he actually posted it all over his social medias and whatnot. So, I mean, you never know. Hit up the god of skateboarding, and you never know. It might just something might just transpire.
I had not even thought about that, but yeah, we might take you up on that.
That would be incredible. Yeah.
I'd send him a new single.
I will be honest, man. I'm a huge Tony Hawk fan, so I mean, at the end of the day, if I was in the band, if he actually reposted that, it would blow my damn mind, man. Because to me, he is Jesus. Like, honestly, he is the Birdman.
Oh, 100%. And he seems like such a dude as well. Like when you hear him being interviewed, and he's just, yeah. I'm gonna try that.
And also, you guys are currently signed to Cat's Claw Records. I was wondering, how did you guys ultimately get discovered by this label? And of course, what is it just like working alongside that label's personnel for the duration of your guys' tenure?
Yeah, so Cat's Claw, we're in the Cat's Claw family. They don't really have a signed contract per se. Cat's Claw are a pretty small independent label in the UK that do some really cool stuff. And Johnny, who runs it, is just an incredibly nice, passionate guy, as most people we found that kind of work in this sort of corner of the music industry are. They do it for love. And he, from day one, has been incredibly supportive of our band. His thing has always been putting out albums on cassette. That was like his niche. He started doing that during COVID, and he's put out some like awesome stuff. And like, we just started off as fans, really. We're buying all the merch and tapes and stuff, and got talking to Johnny through that. And he was basically like, "Look, I love your band, and want you to be part of the Cat's Claw family. And when you've got something to release, we'll do something." So we've not released anything through them yet. We hope we will. We've also got new single that's out at the moment. We've got another couple in the can that we've recorded recently that are ready to roll. So we're hoping at some point in the future there will be a physical release on its way out.
And also as well, you guys actually have your own Spotify playlist called Be Fair Inspirational Pals. I was wondering, what actually made you guys decide to actually create this Spotify playlist? And of course, other bands that do happen to listen to this interview live, or even if it's on demand on our YouTube, how can they go about submitting for potential placement on your guys' playlist?
Oh, well, the honest reason for doing a playlist is one. I mean, it's mostly it's our mates and people that we've played with and inspire us. So there's some great bands on there, some great bands off Cat's Claw that we just mentioned. And yeah, I think you spoke before about sort of how you love some of the UK punk. There's some bands on there like the Diaz brothers. If you haven't checked them out, they're just incredible. They definitely have that kind of, spearhead in the UK punk scene. Bands like Shackleford as well, just awesome bands. So yeah, that playlist was really just kind of like a tip of the cap to those bands that we really love and that we've been lucky enough to play with. But also the other reason, how Spotify works. If you've got a few tracks together and you're tracking there, then those evil Spotify robots get to work and start to figure out where they want to put you in that kind of stuff. So playlists are so important. But if anybody wants to get on there, just find us on Instagram. It's probably the best place. That's where we're most active. We're BFairZ, so BFair SY, and yeah, just drop us a message. We are pretty active on there, and we'll reply to everybody because, like I said before, the whole point of doing this band is to meet people, make connections, and we'll make time for anybody who wants to reach out.
And also, December 1st of 2023, so just a few weeks ago, you guys released your most recent single titled Montreal Screwjob. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this single, and of course, what actually made you guys decide to release a Survivor Series 1997 inspired song?
Go on, Dave, you can explain this one. So the title is all down to Dickie, our other guitarist. He's a big wrestling fan, so a few of our songs are wrestling titles, but the titles aren't related to the lyrics in the song. We just kind of like have placeholder names for the songs when we're writing them, and they sometimes just stick. Dickie, big wrestling fan. What was the other part of the question?
Oh, I was going to say, like, what actually made you guys decide to just, release a Survivor Series 97 inspired type song? Like, I know you said the lyrics don't really, don't really match the name, but, like, what made you guys decide to name it, I should say?
Yeah, it is like Dave says, Dickie. So Dickie, the other guitarist, he's a huge wrestling fan. And the way that we write our songs is often Dickie will write the chords and he'll give them a placeholder title, which doesn't mean that anything, and more often than not, they're related to some kind of obscure wrestling reference. Dave and I don't know how much you are, Dave, are not into wrestling at all. So they just pass us by. We're just like, oh yeah, that's a cool name. And then sometimes they just make their way into being the real name of the song. And it wasn't really until we put this live and we started to get so much kind of feedback from people go, yeah, that's a cool name. And people coming up to me and talking about Bret the Hitman Hart, who I really had very little knowledge of before we released this thing. So I'm all over it now. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I actually get so many song submissions in a day that sometimes a lot of things slip through the cracks.
Right.
I actually had about, I'd say 15 to 20 different people reach out with music before you guys did that day. And once I saw Montreal Screwjob, you guys got bumped to the top. I was like, I have to listen to this. Because I'm a huge wrestling fan myself. So when I saw that, I was like, I see what you did there. I literally thought someone was playing a game with me, because people that follow my, DJ account, they'll actually be able to, know that I'm a wrestling fan. So I'm like, somebody's playing with me. Someone definitely renamed this file just so I can see it. But no, I have to say, man, absolutely phenomenal. I know you guys aren't huge wrestling fans, but since we're just on the topic of this song, it's called Montreal Screwjob. What do you think? Do you think Bret screwed Bret, or do you think Vince screwed Bret?
So, like I say, this was all completely new to me, but very recently, and only because I was putting together sort of some of the videos and stuff to go with the single, I went back and had a look at it, and from what I can gather from the incident, it looked like a Vince was the puppet master that sort of screwed them all over. But yeah, I do. Honestly, you should get Dickie on this, because he would talk to you about wrestling all night. We've actually got the next single, or the single after this, called is going to be called Roddy Piper. I don't know if Roddy Piper is a name that you're familiar with.
Yeah, he passed away about a couple of years back. Great wrestler, definitely deserves so much better in my honest opinion. But I'm definitely excited to hear your guys' new single, Roddy Piper.
Yeah, that's another wrestling reference that we were totally oblivious to until So yeah, sorry, dude. If you were hoping for a wrestling chat, you've got the wrong two.
Oh
B-fans.
no. I just figured like plug the song, right? So.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to go away and do my research in case we get asked this again, and form my own opinion.
To be honest with you, it's a very controversial opinion. I mean, there's no wrong question in that scenario, man. So, I mean, like, everyone, no matter what, whether you say it's Brett, whether you say it's, like, Vince, you could say one of the fans screwed him, man, and someone will still bash you. It's just, everyone has their own opinion. It is what it is. But also, guys, for this song and tons of other songs as well, you guys also had the opportunity to do quite a bit of work alongside Andy Hawkins of Nave Studios out there in Leeds, UK. I was wondering, how did you guys actually get connected with Andy? And of course, what is it like just working alongside him behind the scenes in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, that was incredible because so Andy was somebody who I'd known of, or at least the Nave Studio was somebody that we were aware of from quite early on. I had got a sort of a friend that played in the band called the Human Project, and they recorded with him. The Human Project are an insanely good band. They sound a bit like Propagandy, if anybody's into them, and you should definitely check out the Human Project. But yeah, he recorded their albums and worked on some of their stuff. So I was chatting to him when we first started forming the band and talking about the idea of recording. And he's like, "Oh man, you should go to Andy." And at the time I checked it out, and it was just, the studio is like really nice. It's like an old converted church, so a great space. And it just seemed a bit too professional for us. Like, we didn't feel like we deserved to be there. And then we'd saved up a bit of cash, and we knew we wanted to try and record something pretty decent. Like I say, the other demos we'd done them at home and recorded and edited them ourselves. And we kind of wanted to give these ones, a bit of a better chance. So we wanted to go and work with a proper producer. And then also earlier in the year, Sunliner, another great band from Leeds in the UK. Again, urge people to go check them out. They're a brilliant band. And Andy recorded their demo, and I was chatting with my mate again and saying we're looking for it. And I said how much I like the Sunliner album. He was like, "Well, Andy recorded that," and it all just started to fall into place. So we went down, didn't we, Dave, and met Andy and had a chat with him at the Nave, and just felt right.
So he gave us a little tour of his studio, and he just had all the time in the world for us. Like, he wasn't in a rush to, even though we weren't paying him anything for the tour, like, he wasn't in a rush to get us out of there. And he had a lot of questions for us and answered all of our questions, and just made us feel like he'd be a good guy to work with. And he was, yeah.
And also, guys, with 2023 very close to coming to a close, just literally a few weeks left in this year, next year, will we actually hear a Be Fair full-length studio album in the foreseeable future? And if so, what can we actually expect from this studio album if it is indeed currently in the works?
It's not in the works. So when we went into those sessions with Andy in the Nave, we recorded 3 songs. So we've got Montreal Screwjob, which is out now. We've got 2 more to be released as singles into next year. We definitely want to go back and record more stuff, but we haven't got anything planned just yet. I honestly think we're probably a bit of a way off getting a full-length album out. I can't see us doing that next year, unless we can negotiate some time off from work and families and everything else. I think our ambitions for next year really is to get these singles out, get our name out there more, which is why, people like yourself, it's so important for bands like us being able to speak to you and your listeners. We want to get around, play some more gigs, maybe play some festivals and stuff, more opportunities to make more connections, more friends. And when that starts to happen and we start to get out, then I'm pretty sure an album will follow, but that's not in our immediate plans. It's a difficult one. It's a big commitment doing an album, and I think the reality, I don't know what your opinions are on it, but more and more bands I see now are releasing more singles and maybe EPs than they are albums. but I grew up listening to albums. I would love to, feel like there's a proper body of work that I could put my name to. So yeah, that's something I'd definitely really like to do. I don't know, what's your feeling on that, Dave?
I mean, it would be, yeah, no, I agree with you. I like listening to albums, especially an album that takes you on like a journey that's really well structured and put together. But like you say, I mean, those 3 days it was like 3.5 days in the end, wasn't it, that we spent at the Nave? It was grueling. I mean, it was just like balls to the wall. We didn't have any time to hang around, and ideally we would have needed more time than that.
Yeah.
To take our time a bit more with those songs. But I mean, that was only 3 songs, so like an album's worth. Like Phil said, it means time off work for us. It means still getting the time away from the family. And it would be a big undertaking. But again, you never know what the future brings.
Yeah.
And also, guys, obviously, you mentioned earlier on new single Rowdy Piper coming out, and then you mentioned as well that a third single is coming sometime in 2024. Aside from the singles and whatnot, what is next for you guys? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this afternoon or this evening's interview? And if anything else you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote?
No, not really. We've got some gigs coming up. We've got one in Oldham, which is near Manchester in the UK. If anyone happens to be over that way, early next year, which we're really excited about. Playing with a band called Tearjerker. If you liked sort of Leatherface type music and the Diaz brothers who I mentioned before, Tearjerker from Sunderland, which is like northeast England, like a really good honest portrayal of that kind of sound from a UK punk band. So check them out. And we're psyched to be playing with them. But yeah, no, other than that, we just got what we always do, really, just plugging away, playing gigs, putting on some local shows, trying to get out there. So I got the single. So we've got a single called Hadfield 5, which I think we're going to be releasing in February. That is going to go out earlier on a compilation CD with Damn It Records. That's kind of hot off the press. We've just been negotiating that with them this week, so that'll go out in January. So if people want to get their hands on that early, that'll start doing the rounds in Jan, and then we'll release it officially in February. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. That's a bit more of a I don't want to say a departure in sound, but it's an evolution of our sound. One of the more recent songs we wrote, and we're really, really excited about people hearing that. And then, yeah, we've got the Rowdy Piper coming up behind that later in the year. But yeah, we want to space it out a bit. But yeah.
But also, guys, before we actually part ways here this evening, how do we go about following Be Fair, and not just the band itself, but also the individual members across all social media platforms if we're not already doing so? That way we can stay updated on everything that is to come in the year 2024.
Go on, Dave. How do they follow us?
Yeah, well, as Phil mentioned earlier, our Instagram is Be Fair SY. SY stands for South Yorkshire.
Yeah.
South Yorkshire is the county that we're in. Yeah, Be Fair SY on Instagram. We're also on TikTok, aren't we?
Yeah, we're Be Fair Band on TikTok because we like to make life difficult for ourselves by having different handles across different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I won't bother following any of us on Instagram apart from Dave. Dave's Instagram is lovely because he posts up lots of nice videos of himself playing drums, and every now and again a topless shot, which is definitely worth tuning in for.
Yeah, you can if you want. It's.
But hey, ladies, if you're enjoying pictures of Dave, make sure you bless his PayPal. You know what I mean? Get him a Christmas gift this year.
No, I did want to say something in all seriousness. We're getting more plays, aren't we, Phil, in America and Canada than we are in the UK. So I just want to say, like, it's a great opportunity for us to come on something like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, we appreciate all you guys out there who are running up the song on Spotify. It's helping us out, and we're getting our name out there. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Hey, you guys are most certainly welcome. Without a doubt, I can definitely see why individuals in North America are running this song up. Honestly, they should be running it up all over the world, because not only is the song name catchy, but everything about it is such a catchy, phenomenal joint. So I encourage everyone to stream it, purchase it, download it. I mean, like, add it to every playlist, because this song deserves to be heard, man. This is exactly what the punk rock community needs. They need a little bit of Montreal screw job in their life.
Thanks, man. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. Thank you so much. Definitely have yourselves a phenomenal night out there in the UK. Hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon, but for now, definitely have yourselves a phenomenal night.
Cheers, man. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.